walk bigger than the man. Yeah, bitch, walk and it ain't a lancer. Sounding like some old school K.A. Where's my dogs at? Where's my fucking great names? Twisted fire starter like some old school prodigy. Take a pop at me, you niggas my protege.
Second time round for the same album, I'm feeling very good about it. I mean, this is now how I would have put out my album in August if I could have, so this is good. We put out 2 singles, one of them being Icon, the other one being Pour Your Love. And I mean, there was both tracks that I liked, but they weren't the tracks that I would have went with to kick off my brand new album and kind of all these goals that I had surrounding this album and the plans. It was crazy. I mean, I was torn with a young man at the time when I was writing this album, and we'd made Choose One. One of the records which I had seen myself performing this in arenas, and it was going to be my first single and everyone was going to go crazy about it. It's going to be a top 10. And then I didn't go with it. It was like, it's crazy. But cut a long story short, I went to release this album in August and that record wasn't on there. A lot of the records that I would have went with weren't on there. I changed it. I then go on an arena tour in February, and I perform Choose One, everyone goes crazy for that track. And then it goes in my, oh, it's crazy. It's so crazy. I could go mental on this, but I won't. It's very dubstep in the fact that it's 140 based, a lot of it. I mean, there's tracks at 170 and there's tracks at 130, but I wouldn't say it strays too far from my dubstep mold. I think when I say dubstep, people freak out and they think it's going to be very metallic and very mid-range bass, but it's not. It's just crazy songs, and there's a song on there called Click and Tap, which is at 140, which I think people would freak out about because they wouldn't expect it to be what it is. My favourite collaboration on there, and it might sound a bit biased because he is my best friend, but is Young Man. Because it's just about the way these songs come about, and I think you can't really beat them. This record couldn't be more real to me. And it's not like we've just been in the studio, like with a new artist you don't know, and you're trying to create something that you think people will like. Now I do have records on there like that. Like I've collaborated with Charli XCX. She's so pro, and she was like, I remember her laying things down and like coming up with these harmonies really quickly, and I thought the hook that she'd sung was amazing in the first place because I got a demo, and I wanted to go in the studio and record it with her. And she was just like, she was chilled, she was cool. And obviously you get in the studio with some artists where you go in and there's like 7 people in the studio, not to name any names, but then I remember when in America once, see, I can veer off. I can go mental and start talking about this time I've done this and this one time at band camp, going crazy. But yeah, Charli XCX, she was amazing. And then I went in with another woman called Autumn Rowe, who she wrote songs from, she wrote Sher Lloyd's Swagger Yagger, whatever. She wrote that, and then she wrote Alexis Jordan tracks, which were hits over here and in America. She wrote everything from the pop side of music to my style of music, and I really got on with her, and we wrote Higher, which was a good song. Kano again, which is kind of, it was quite, I hate to use the word, it sounds super trendy, but it was quite organic. I wrote the track when I was on tour, instrumental wise, then we went in the studio, we started writing another song for his album, but then I ended up hitting him up with a few of these instrumentals which I thought were heavier and a bit about from where he had come from. Now, when we were speaking about the tracks, he was saying to me that he didn't really want to do the track for Father, but once he took it home and started writing to it, I remember I got a phone call the same night, him saying, oh, this is the shit, this is what I want to do, this is taking me back to my old school vibe, and that's where the whole 4-5 concept came from. I don't know, I've got Sam Frank on my album with Warzone, which I think is amazing again. He's one of my favourite songwriters, and he's mental, because he will do something like that, then he goes and does a sugar-based record, or I don't know, you know, talented artists. One of the biggest influences for me on this album, and you might not be able to hear it, I don't think you will hear it, is Sub Focus. And I remember caning his first album and just like thinking to myself, these are the type of albums that I want to make as Benga, and kind of setting about it. And whatever I set about to make, it's funny because no matter what it is, I think in my head, oh yeah, this really sounds like this, but it doesn't. It always sounds completely the opposite and mental. And it's like, I remember when I even first set out to make dubstep, and it wasn't dubstep then, it was like garage. And I was trying to make records like Oris J, and then they would just come out sounding like this. It was mad. Sub Focus had these great hooks, and he had really clean production, but still really bass heavy, and still, it was easy on my ears, but really creative, and had wicked hooks, and that was what I thought my album should be about, and were about, and what I wanted to do. Chapter 1, for me, was all about getting fucked up, and as much as possible as well. Not just like partying when it came about, but getting fucked up as much as possible on a daily basis sometimes. And I think chapter 2 for me, like I said before, is all about me achieving my goals and realizing that, hold on a minute, that there is more to my life than just doing, just getting fucked up. I have moved away from what people think is dubstep, and I had done. Can I be honest with you? I was dubstep, but then I really wasn't. I mean, I was a huge part of that movement and that genre, but none of my songs were really about being one thing. I mean, the tempo was, but if you look at records like Crunked Up to Night, and then from Night to, let's just say, On a Mission, do they sound anything like each other? They don't, do they? And I've always been about diversity.